Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BA'Shem YAHAWASHI, BA'Shem Rakak. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, shalom to my Akim who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This brother Kawak coming at you with another lesson, and I just saw this movie Sinners, and it was actually like a really good movie, genuinely a very good movie. Obviously, I won't say it was a perfect movie, but it was definitely very good for what it was. If I had to give a rating 1 out of 10, I would definitely say 9 out of 10. I thought there was my only, I guess, gripe. I don't even have a gripe with it, but as sometimes when you're watching it, when you sometimes put yourself in the movie to see I would, in the event of doing this, that, and third, I would have done this and whatnot. And when they were in about to do the confrontation with the vampire, spoiler alert, of course, but when they're gonna do the confrontation against the vampires, honestly, that was my only gripe. Why was the Asian lady so dumb to freaking scream everyone come in and stuff like that? When, for me personally, one thing that I learned, all right, was whenever you handle enemies are greater than you, what you can do is literally just make it make the thing into your terms. I think this is a part of the strategic mind that the Lord bless Israel with, because I think it's not even Judites, but I think it's Simeon, I believe, or I forgot which one. It's one of the so-called Hispanic tribes that were very skilled in war. But basically, one of the things was, instead of just having them all come in, you should just invite them in one at a time and then handle them one by one. It was 7 people versus 1 vampire at a time, and then they literally could have just cleared them all out. And the woman who was freaking scared of having her daughter get killed and whatnot, she would have been able to go back home to her kid without any issues. But that was literally my only gripe with it. It was very unfortunate about how many people that actually died. I was pretty disappointed with that, but it's at the end of the day, it's a movie. I guess I got a bit too invested in it, but outside of that, there was on the spiritual aspects of stuff, I saw a good amount. It was very, very a very beautiful movie spiritually, and I want to get into these things. First things first. Revelation chapter 16 verse 14. They are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahweh Almighty. And the main thing I want to get with this is that to understand that those people, those vampires, whatever you want to call them, they died. Those people had died, and they were basically brought back to life. And the fact of the matter is that there are miracles, quote unquote, or powers, if you will, on both sides. There's the good side and the bad side. If Yahawashi actually brought, not only did Yahawashi himself revive from the dead, but he also brought back someone else from the dead. All right, let me see if I can find that. I think it was not Lazarus. I forgot his name. No, hold on. Brought back. It was Lazarus. Okay. John 11. The sickness is not that. Okay, here. John chapter 11 verse. Verse 11. These things said he, and after that he saith unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Yahushua spake of his death, but they thought that he had spoken of taking a rest in sleep. Then said Yahushua to them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go on to him. So basically, he's confirming that Lazarus is indeed dead. He's literally dead. Verse 16. Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, let us also go, that we may die with him. Then when Yahushua came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already. Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off, and many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary, and to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she had heard that Yahushua was coming, went and met him, but Mary sat still in the house. Let me just get this. Verse 22. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of Yahweh, Yahweh will give it thee. Yahushua said unto her, thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth on me, though he were dead, yet shall he live again. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? She said unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Hamashiach, the son of Yahweh, which should come into the world. And when she had said so, she went her way and called Mary her sister secretly, saying, the master is come and calleth for thee. Okay, let me just get to the point. Verse 34, and said, where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Yahushua wept. And then said the Jews, behold how he loved him. And some of them said, could not this man, which opened the eyes of the blind, have caused even this man should not have died? And Yahushua therefore, again groaning in himself, cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. And Yahushua said, take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, said unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he hath been dead 4 days. Yahushua said unto her, said not unto thee that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of Yahweh? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid, and Yahushua lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me, and I knew that thou hearest me always, but because of the people which stand by I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. Okay, verse 44, and he said, and he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound with a napkin. Yahushua said unto him, loose him and let him go. So basically he revived Lazarus, who was dead. So basically there are the two sides. Like I don't know if you heard of the practice of necromancy. I don't really know too much on it. All I do know is that necromancy is basically a practice of like messing with dead people and dead bodies. And on the same token, you have this movie Sinners that dealt with vampires, where there was people that died, and after they died, they basically came back to life as evil vampires, biting and killing people and stuff like that. So that is where we come into this whole, the both right hand and left hand miracles. All right, where there's devils that can perform miracles. Miracles like the devil being able to prosper and do all this witchcraft stuff, like witchcraft. That's basically witchcraft. And then the other side is the power of Yahawadah, where Yahawadah is able to bring people back from the life. But the thing is, like you see the differences in it in how with the devil's miracles, there's always something bad that that comes attached to it. Whereas with the miracles of Yahawadah, SHAMAIWAN, there's nothing attached to it. Like, Lazarus just, he came back to life. He's not, oh, you have to sell your soul, this, that, and third. It's just like, okay, yeah, you got to live again. You're good now. Like, and then Yahawashi just left. All right, like that's basically it. Allowing and as a result of that, letting him repent, giving him an more time to repent, giving him more time to live, Lord willing, or Yahawadah, as a follower of Yahawadah, SHAMAIWAN, and not just sinning and whatnot. Obviously, sometimes we fall short, of course, but that's not. It's not necessarily something that was bad or something that you're going to be like instantaneously penalized for it. Instantaneously penalized for it, like you have in these movies and medias with demons and demon contracts and stuff like that. It's just a matter of, okay, well, yeah, the Lord blesses also Slakia. I'm getting off track. Let me stay on track first. So yeah, basically you have that, the good side and the bad side, where there's on the good side, the power of Yahawadah being able to perform miracles, and the bad side of it. And also, the thing is, another thing that I had noticed in the movie was in nearing the end, right before the cousin or whatever, nephew, whatever the frick, he was about to be bitten. The demon, or the vampires more specifically, they were basically quoting scriptures. All right, so that's another thing where let me actually get that. All right, James chapter 2 verse 19, thou believest that there is one power, thou doest well, the devils also believe and tremble. So basically, this is kind of like what's the word, proof that, or kind of like, not necessarily proof, but more so like I don't know what the proper term, but basically a way to show that just because you say that you believe, just because you are, oh yeah, I know the Bible, I study the Bible, and this, that, and the third, like all these different Christian pastors and whatnot, they say all these things, like they say, oh yeah, we're familiar with the Bible, we know this and third. Oh, Bishop T.D. Jakes and stuff like that, who is closely affiliated with P. Diddy and stuff like that. Like, you have these people that are familiar with the Bible, of course, and they may believe that Yahawadah exists, but the thing is that it's not enough. It's not enough just to say that you believe, okay? It's never been enough, but yet you have the Christian faith constantly preaching and teaching and saying that, yeah, all you have to do is just say you believe, and that's enough for you. But of course, we just read in James chapter 2 verse 19 that it's not enough. It's not enough that, or not necessarily that's not enough, but just because you say you believe, that doesn't mean anything. All right, because verse 18, yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. And then that's the thing where we don't just say that we have faith. We have to actually demonstrate it. All right, we have to demonstrate it through our actions of actually following the law, statutes, commandments. Though not necessarily that, but the words of Yahawadah, SHAMAIWAN. And that's how you show that you have faith. That's how you show that you have belief. That's how you show your faith and belief in Yahawadah, SHAMAIWAN. I just saw something. Anyway, but continuing on, that was a very powerful thing, and I will say that they did not call on no name of JC and all that stuff. So that was a good thing that they didn't do. But at the same time, very oftentimes, whenever they call these names of JC and whatnot, or God and whatnot, it never really works. I think in these more crazier, older horror movies, they had these exorcists and stuff like that, where the demons literally just got even more sporadic. But the thing is that when you actually call on the names, which I'm gonna get that, by the way, when you actually call on the names of Yahawadah, SHAMAIWAN, then that's when that's where the true power lies in. Okay, so let me get that first. I want to do this in order. All right, because there was a many great things. Where is it? Oh yeah, Slakia, that was another thing. Let's do this in order. So first, Mark chapter 5, verse 10, and he besought him that Oh, no, okay, verse 7, and cried with a loud voice and said, what I have to do with thee, Yahawashi, thou son of the most high power, I adjure thee by Yahweh, that thou torment me not. So this is the demon that was possessing a person. That is what a demon was basically saying to Yahawashi. So basically, first thing you have to acknowledge is that the demon actually not acknowledge, but recognize Yahawashi. So the demons, they know the fame of the prophets. They know the fame of who is spiritually inclined, who are spiritually on the side of, or the friends of Yahweh, or Yahawashi more specifically. All right, who are following after the As a matter of fact, let me just get that, because I'm tripping by not getting the proper thing. Is it Mark? Yeah, John chapter 15 verse 13. Greater love, no. John chapter 15 verse 14. Ye are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. So basically, following after the words of Yahawashi, that's where we are that's where we become his friends. We become his friends through that. We also become his friend. We also become his family by following after the words of Yahawadah. All right. So yeah, basically, being a part of his friend, being obedient and following the words of Yahawadah. All right. That's where we become the family and the friends, and that's when we are pushing out our fame in the spirit realm where the demons see and do and know what we're doing, as well as Yahawadah, which Yahawadah sees all. But there's also the angels that also see what we do. So the angels and the demons, both sides, see what we do, through the spirit. Okay, because it's spiritual warfare that we are partaking in, and when we are more spiritually inclined compared to others, and that's when these demons are not going to want to really mess with us or associate with us. They mostly go after people that are weaker to their lust, weaker to or more susceptible to sin. All right. Next, verse 8, for he said unto him, come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. So Yahweh is what Yahawashi said. Verse 9, and he said unto him, what is thy name? And he answered, saying, my name is Legion, for we are many. And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. Now there was there nigh unto the mountain a great herd of swine feeding, and all the devils besought him, saying, send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. And forthwith Yahawashi gave them leave, and the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine, and the swine ran violently down a steep place and into the sea. There were about 2,000, and they were choked in the sea. So basically, they went and killed themselves as they possessed the swine or pigs, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, basically that's another thing where we go back into them knowing the fame and stuff like that. Just because they know, it's because you claim to know. Okay, because the demons also know. The demons are aware. Oh yeah, this person, that's a diligent servant, whoever, such and such and whatnot, following after the words of Yahawadah. But I'm not going to mess with them because this and third. And there are going to be moments of weaknesses when we need to kind of fight back temptation. All right, that's really just comes back into constantly keeping. Actually, let me get that. It is impossible to fall away. KJV. No, it's to. If for those that practice it's
watch it with my grandmother. So, what is your take on that?
I forgot the wording of it.
On the fascination, yeah. Okay. Because since we know
no, that's not what I want. I know what this is.
Why are they trying to muddy the water?
if you keep,
when in
if
fact it was
you
the opposite.
keep,
Well, Dracula, aka Vlad the Emperor, was a black man. He was a Judite soldier back in Romania
will,
when those people were taking our people down. In
is the
Europe.
word impossible
Dracula,
in
they
the
call
thing?
him
Let me just check.
the Emperor because when the Holy Spirit mount him when he had the power of the Most High God Almighty, which was explained in the movie Dracula Untold, and he was kicking us and taking names, so they dubbed him as a vampire. So what is a vampire and why those people are fascinated with it? According to our private teaching, private study, a vampire is nothing more than
Oh, whatever. I can't remember, but basically, I'll roughly paraphrase. I'm gonna look for it. I highly doubt I'll find it, but I'll find it. But basically, it says if you keep practicing these things, it would be impossible for you to fall away from the truth or from the practice of Yahawadah and His. I forgot the wording. All right, but yeah, where constantly occupying your mind with Yahawadah and His, that's where you would never fall out the truth. All right, because it's because you show moments of weakness and moments of like maybe I want to go and do this, maybe I want to do that, maybe I'll skip a day of praying or whatever where you fall away. Let me see that actually. Fall away.
Vampires, when they bite you, they drain your life force. They drain your strength. And that's exactly
Bear with me one moment.
they need so-called our people to survive, to sustain themselves.
Whatever, I forgot. I don't remember it. Anyway, yeah, it's basically it would basically be impossible for you to fall away if you constantly practice all the necessary things in terms of constantly reminding yourself and occupying your mind with the Lord Yahweh Yahawashi. All right, so next I want to get into here, 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 14. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. And Saul's servants said unto him, Behold, now an evil spirit from Yahweh troubleth thee. Let our Lord now command thy servants which are before thee to seek out a man who is a cunning player of an harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from Yahweh is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. And this is just one minor, I guess, minor thing that you can do for those that aren't as spiritual. All right, because it's not. Some people aren't gifted in terms of like being spiritual and whatnot, or some people are not as spiritual. So basically, so there are certain things that you can basically do to improve your situation, whatnot, in terms of like how to keep demons away from you, which one of these things is harp music. Harp music can help you, or just calming music in general, because that was actually one of the themes in the movie Sinner, which is music. They were basically talking about how music can invoke stuff and stuff like that, and it was basically the music from the younger Jake, all right, that basically led the vampires to him. But the funny thing about that is that in general, music, yes, it can be good, it also can be bad, and it basically depends on how it's made. All right, so for example, you have like the what's that shit called, gangster music or whatever, or like the rap music that basically is trying to I was wondering who this bitch was, because I saw this name multiple times. I was like, who is this? All right, but what was I saying? There was the music that pushes us to do all that terrible stuff, like for example the thing with the people wanting to kill one another, because you have that gangster rap where people are listening to that, and it's influencing our people badly. Even with the younger generation, they are listening to these terrible music, and it is influencing them negatively as well. Another thing was, in the movie, they also had the vampires being capable of playing, good music as well, where it's like it's not something that Slakia, that was another thing. The vampire, the main vampire in the movie, he was apparently Irish, which I heard that there are some Irish, all right, are kind of descend from Israelites, and I assume, I'm led to believe that what happened, or through the implications, okay, because the vampire was basically talking about what happened to him when he was attacked or something like that. Basically, I'm assuming that the implications, as well as why he isn't a racist, all right, himself, it's because of the thing where being a vampire, he is a what's the word? He went through the persecution, because oftentimes, as a matter of fact, funnily enough, here, this chick in the movie, she was supposed to be her mother's father, or someone in her family was half black. So one of her parents were half black, and then through that same thing of the vampire, I think it's through the persecution, because the Irish were also being persecuted for their heritage, okay? Because I forgot what time frame. I haven't studied history in a while, but there was a time where the Irish were being treated like, basically borderline like so-called black people as well, all right? Where I can imagine that through that where is he? Through that they don't have him there. Through that persecution that he actually has that okay of I don't care about your race and stuff like that. I want all you guys to come and join me, this, that, and the third, blah blah. Oh, here it is. Here, I think this is it. Looks different based off this. Yeah, it's this, definitely him. So yeah, basically it's because of that persecution type thing, where it's like, okay, well, I went through it myself, so I don't want to persecute other people just as I was. And he wants, I love everyone, I want to be inclusive with everyone and stuff like that. All right, now let me also get this. It was in here, Isaiah chapter 32 verse 5. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. And that's the thing, where even though people are saying, oh yeah, we don't care about your skin color, but yet in the movie and in general, you have these people that claim liberal, all right, that are actually very vile, very evil, and they partake in wicked activities and destroying people still, okay, be it through whatever actions of their rainbow activities or whatever else, okay? Because at the end of the day, Esau's society, Esau's life, and all that stuff, even Saki, and that was the thing where he said in the movie he wanted to, after they were done turning all of those black people into vampires, they were gonna go and kill the racist dudes that the racist people that were planning on killing Michael B. Jordan's family and stuff like that. All right, or not family, but his group and whatnot. All right, or the black people that were there, they were planning on doing all that stuff as well. So even though they might say, "Oh yeah, there's this," but it's like they're still an enemy, regardless if they say they're liberal, regardless if they say they're oh yeah, we love you guys, we don't care about your skin color and this and third. They still have evil intent and still act in a evil manner. All right, so where is this we saw it so much that it was not in the, oh yeah, we already read this. Next, Acts chapter 19 verse, I think it's starts at verse 13. Yeah, verse 13. Then certain of the vagabond Jews exorcists took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Lord Yahawashi, saying, we adjourn you by Yahawashi, whom Paul preached. And there were 7 sons of Sevka, a Jew, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahawashi I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? Who are ye? And the men in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of the house naked and wounded. So basically, these are an examples of what I like to call poser exorcists, because they aren't actually spiritual. They just, you have these people that say, oh yeah, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus and stuff like that, and getting crosses and stuff like that, where they're not actually in line. They're not actually following after the teachings of YAHAWAH, which, that was the thing, they actually, that was the thing where, they have these different instances of, what's it called? It's like they had these different instances of, true exorcism from Yahawashi, and the disciples also removing the evil spirits. Okay, but when it comes to these demons are they're gonna get on people and torment people. But if you are just some random, okay, that's not spiritually inclined and whatnot, you don't have any power over them. Yeah, even with Yahawashi, let's actually get that. Okay, Matthew chapter 10. This is what Yahawashi literally authorized. Matthew chapter 10, verse 1. And when he had called unto his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. So this is an example of that, where Yahawashi, he has the power to get rid of these unclean spirits, these demons, and he gives his power to his disciples, and by extension his servants, his friends, the prophets. Okay, so even us, when we are actually following after, doing what he's doing, okay, because when that way the demons will actually recognize us and say, look at that prophet over there doing all this stuff. We're gonna stay away from him. We're not gonna bother him this time and third. All right, but obviously there are going to be some certain instances when sometimes it will happen. All right. Okay, so Matthew chapter 17, verse 18, and Yahawashi rebuked the devil, and he departed out from him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Yahawashi apart, and said, why could not we cast him out? And Yahawashi said unto them, because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say to this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So he said, Yahawashi said, if you just had a little bit of faith, you'd be able to, nothing would be impossible to you. You'd be able to do anything through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. And that's where the thing comes into play, where with these demons, when we have authority over demons, we have to face with confrontation, spiritual or physical, we ask and rely on the Lord Yahawadah to get us through these things. And the funny thing about this is that this movie Sinners, okay, it was very spiritual in that sense, but at the same time, the main thing is just like, there was no real like biblical, obviously there was some biblical references, but actually one of the main things was how the demons, they didn't go just to anywhere. They didn't go just anywhere. They went specifically to the people that were actually wicked. And that's basically how. As a matter of fact, let me get that. That's actually a good point that I brought up. Psalm chapter 17, verse 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. And that's the thing, the wicked is the sword of Yahweh. The Lord Yahweh will send his wicked off to judge the people. Okay, as a matter of fact, let me also get this spirits. it's in the Apocrypha in
We're not regurgitated. We're all bringing our own.
Sirach chapter 39 verse 28. There be spirits that crave for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And basically, the Lord puts spirits on people to judge people and to destroy people and whatnot. And that's how in the movie, the people that were biblical followers and whatnot, if you just by process closest to being godly, I'll say, they weren't really bothered. They didn't need to encounter those demons. So on the flip side, Slucky, on the flip side of that, you have the demons from you have the demons actually going to the people that were basically being I wouldn't necessarily, well, yeah, the people that were wicked, because the dude's character, Michael B. Jordan's character, they were wicked people and stuff like that. They also had a witch among them and stuff like that. So yeah, they weren't really the best of people, I'll say. All right. So yeah, that was just how things are going, and the Lord, sends people out. Of how much more can the Lord send to judge you if you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing? All right. So yeah, that's basically it. Kind of a bit of a spiritual movie review. Good movie. Definitely a must watch. I highly recommend it. I enjoyed the movie. There was I got too into it myself. It was a pretty good movie. So with that, praise, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem B'Krak B'Dash, the most, to the elders and apostles, great millstone, about ball and shalom.